Next up is another very exciting opportunity for us. I'm going to ask for the delegation from Grand Valley State University to come up on the dais. First of all, we have the provost, who's Gail Davis. We have the Grand Valley State chairman of the Board of Trustees, who also happens to be an associate trustee of the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Museum, David Hooker, and the Grand Valley State Hauenstein Center Director, Gleaves Whitney. Will the three of you please come up to share with us your presentation for this year? Please welcome on board.
Wow, what an experience to be part of that. Thank you so much. We're just delighted to be here to commemorate the President's 102nd birthday, and thanks to the Ford family and to Joe Calvaruso and the folks at the foundation, and also to the Library and Museum for throwing another great bash that has such a surprise ending. I'm proud to be joined on stage, of course, by Chairman David Hooker and our Provost, Gail Davis, for the last phase of this afternoon's program. Now, there's a man who wanted to be in the audience with us today who couldn't make it, but he just celebrated a 103rd birthday. It's Ralph Hauenstein. And yeah, please recognize Ralph. Now, Ralph and President Ford have been friends. They had been friends for 80 years. I actually counted it up. If you go back to the time when they were competing against each other on the gridiron, all the way up to when they were sharing their last cocktail and reminiscing about West Michigan, some 80 years of friendship. And they cherished that friendship. You can see the letters that prove it. And one of the things that President Ford really valued about Ralph was that he was a leader in every sector that he entered. If you look at all of the ways that Ralph led, if you look at the way he was a civic and media leader when he was at the Grand Rapids Herald as a city editor, when you looked at how in World War II, in the European theater under Dwight Eisenhower, he was the chief of the intelligence branch. When you look at the fact that after the war, he was an entrepreneurial leader with global business connections, and then he comes back to West Michigan and he's a philanthropic leader. Look at all of the foundations and the institutions in this community in West Michigan that have been affected by his leadership, impacted. Hauenstein Center for Presidential Studies being just one of those. He was a leader in his church as well, of international repute. Now, Ralph never held public office, but he had a keen eye for people who would be good at it, people who had the integrity to take a stand and stick with it, where their word was their bond. And he recognized that in a fellow war veteran in 1948 when Jerry Ford wanted to run for Congress. And Ralph's support of Jerry Ford was steadfast all the way through to 1976, 1980, and beyond the presidency. So the lives of these two American heroes, Ralph and Jerry Ford, are intertwined in a very important and organic way in this community. And they provide the context for why there is a Colonel Ralph W. Hauenstein Fellowship that is offered by Grand Valley State University and our Hauenstein Center. It's our most prestigious award that we hand out at the Hauenstein Center. It is directed to Americans of stature, Americans who have devoted their lives to serving our nation. Well, Secretary O'Neill, if you would please come and join us one more time up on stage. Ralph and the Hauenstein Center are proud to recognize you for all the ways that you have served our nation, going back to 1961 with the Kennedy administration forward. You have made a real mark by your integrity and your public service, and you've made America stand a little bit taller on the world stage as a result. And we thank you and we honor you. Yes, please. I've just got to say, now Ralph wanted me to say this. Now this is not an end-of-life award. By Ralph's standards, you are still a youngster, and he expects a lot more of you. Okay.
So thank you all so much. I will value this the rest of my life and greatly appreciate having an honor from such a distinguished person. Thank you very much.
Thank you.